There
Oh, Lordy, Lordy.
Hey.
I'm not ready.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Don't get excited.
Sorry. Let me temper it.
Yeah. Chill. Almost there. Almost.
Hey.
God damn!
Hey, girl, hey.
How you doing?
Oh, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm way better than I was.
Yeah.
Want to hear my goddamn?
I do.
I had the stomach flu or food poisoning or something terrible and awful that makes you vomit every 5 seconds.
I'm really hoping it was food poisoning because I'm terrified to be here right now.
I know. I literally smell like bleach right now because I've just bleached my entire house.
Just take a bath in it.
Oh my God. You know how you're not supposed to touch it?
Uh-huh.
I never put gloves on.
I don't. Who has time?
Honestly. So you touch bleach also?
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody on here is going to tell us what idiots we are. You know what I read is like, you know how bleach is slippery?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Like when it gets on your hand, it feels
Yeah.
slippery. I read that's because the bleach is like eating away at the fat in your skin and it makes the
soap.
Yeah, the soponification or whatever it's called. Or whatever it's called.
No big deal. Just some soponification. Well, that's gross.
Yeah, so I made soap on my hand on accident.
Does that work for like
Cleaning
other
myself?
fat?
I don't know. I'm sure it killed the stomach flu.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Can I tell you how awful this shit was? I did not feel good. Everything, I have been tired because we've done 1,000 things at once.
You had family in town too, so you've been entertaining, hostessing.
Oh, yeah. And I had a great fucking time. But I started to feel a little tired, a little drowsy, like not myself. And I was irritable and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh no, I'm probably just overdoing it, right? Mm-hmm. That's fine. Whatever. I had like a day of rest. Not really, but I was trying to take it low key. Like, I'm not going to do anything else. We're done now. And I went to work one day and everything was fine, but I was really off. Like, I just didn't feel, I wasn't vibing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I could tell I'm really tired for some reason, or I'm just, like, not myself. And then the next morning, I was supposed to go into the office again, and I was getting ready for work. I got all fucking ready. I showered, curled my hair, did the whole goddamn kit and caboodle. I look cute as fuck, ready for work. And I go and I drop my kid off at school. And I was okay at this point. I was just still really tired. Like, I would take a shower and need to lay down. Like, I just am exhausted.
Yeah.
And I turned the corner from my kid's school, which is, like, really close to my house. And all of a sudden, instant wave of nausea. And my mouth got watery. And I was like, I'm going to fucking yak. Like, oh no. Oh, no. And I did that, like, flash panic of, like, I could pull over here and open the door and just puke. And I thought, I'm so close to home. I could hold this. And so I just, like, swallowed the spit down. And I flipped a bitch, and I got to my house, like, ripping the door open, trying to get in, threw up all over the toilet. It was disgusting. It was awful.
No.
And I was like, wow, felt way better after, right? And
Yeah.
I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
that's
$1,000,000
really
bucks.
weird. That came out of nowhere. And so then I text my boss, like, hey, I'm going to work from home. I don't want to come into the office. I just threw up. But I still felt good enough to work. I was kind of tired, whatever. Well, after, like, 2 hours of that, I was like, I feel like I'm going to faint. Like, I do not feel okay. I need to sleep. So then I sign off of work, and I sleep for a little bit. And everything was going okay until about 6 o'clock that night. And then out of nowhere, it was just like shitting and puking your brains out, like at the same time, which is not fun. Not fun at all.
No.
And I hadn't eaten anything because I wasn't feeling well. I had like 2 sips of coffee that morning before I yacked. And it was weird because I love my coffee in the morning, and I just wasn't, I took a sip and I was like, I really just don't want this.
Oh.
But I wasn't feeling nauseous yet at
Yeah.
that time. Anyway, so it's like 6 o'clock at night. There's nothing left for my body to give, but it's still trying. Like, you know, and nothing's coming out. And it felt like my stomach was like ripping open. It was awful. From 6 o'clock at night until 4 a.m. that morning. It was like at least every hour, one puke, but multiple pukes an hour. I stopped counting after 7 pukes, which was pretty early on. I was like, you know what? There's no need to keep tally. I
Yeah.
just want to live.
Yeah.
I would like almost faint and have to lay on the floor all sweaty, and I would just be like, like making weird sounds because my body's trying to throw up, but there's nothing left, and I got tired of sitting up, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna lay on the floor and make the sounds.
Like, there's not gonna be a mess to clean
yeah,
up.
there's nothing to
in
clean
there.
up. Oh my God, the amount of times that vomit went up my nose. It was awful.
Oh, that burns.
Oh my God. I haven't had that in a very long time.
Yeah, like when you're learning how to throw up.
Yeah, like I am traumatized from that experience.
Ugh.
And then, so that was like Thursday. And then Friday, that was yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what day it is. Then Friday all day, I just laid in bed dying, but at least I wasn't puking.
Yeah.
But I kept feeling so nauseous. I would take like a sip of water and I'd feel so nauseous. And I knew I had to chug it, like get it in me. Not chug it, but I had to get water in me or else I'd fucking feel worse. Oh my God, it was just so awful. And today I actually feel good. I'm just really tired and like extra dumb. Like I can't remember words and stuff.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and it's my story. You guys are lucky to have a story this week.
Honestly.
Fucking the universe must have known because I got a hair up my ass on Wednesday for some reason. And I was like, I'm going to start researching now so I'm not like last second stressing out.
Yeah.
And so I did like 3 pages of research on Wednesday night, which is a good chunk. Like I got the core of the story down and then I was going into like fill everything out, which so glad I did because then I just filled out things late last night when I was like, okay, I'm able to sit up and type. So,
oh God.
Probably not the best story you guys are ever going to hear, but at least we have one.
Listen, we all appreciate what you went through.
Deeply apologize if I say some dumb shit. Which you guys are probably already used to, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what's different? Not for you, for us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks. What's your goddamn?
Well, my goddamn is that I have family coming into town next week, and so I was like, I'm going to do all of the, like, bedding, laundry stuff so that I can get all that shit going, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Get the first blanket washed, lay that bitch out to dry, and then set in the second blanket, and went to turn on my washer, and it fucking shit the bed. Won't work. Turned off.
No.
Just
That thing is like 500 years old.
It came with the house. And the house was built in like 1990. I'm not kidding. It's a Kenmore. That bitch is fucking sturdy, right?
Yeah.
The whole front knob, like, at one point came off and you had to use pliers to use it. And then I got it to, like, sit back on and you could use it, but, like, the knob part was broken. So you had to, like, grab it with all your fingers and pull it out. It was a whole fucking situation. And then the like, oh, this is to make sure that the lid is closed latch thing.
So it'll start.
Spins. Yeah, so it doesn't, like, rip your arm off or whatever when you reach in there.
That safety feature.
Yeah, well, that just broke, so it stopped working. And my dad's like, it's just a switch. And I was like, no, son, it's a screwdriver. So I just shoved a screwdriver in there and, like, you got to point it in a certain direction. But if you...
Till you hear the click.
Yeah, balance the lid on it, it'll pin it there and then it'll run.
Oh, my God.
Very precarious. I know it's
Jesus
time.
Christ.
But God damn it.
Like living in a hut in Kenya or some shit.
Oh, my God. Well, and then the guy that built this house was just a dude. Like, he wasn't a contractor. He was like, I got some tools, I think.
No way.
Yeah.
I did not know
He
that.
did not own a level or a square. So there are absolutely no right corners in my house, and there are
You're just
no level
eyeballing
floors.
that shit the whole way?
Yes. He built the 3 houses. Mine, my neighbors, and the other neighbors.
No, damn.
Yeah. And they're all
Did he just
like
buy
that.
the land and build the homes and like, I'm going to fucking sell this shit?
I guess, yeah, because we got it, like, new. It was, like, a year old or something, so I guess. But I don't know. He was just a guy that was like, I could do some shit.
That makes me scared to be in your house now.
100%.
That thing is, like, precariously balanced on the side of the biggest hill I've ever seen.
There was an earthquake yesterday, and I was sitting in my bedroom, which is, like, on the, what would be the 3rd story, I guess, if you're, like...
1, 2, 3, 4, counting stories.
Yeah, like, measuring. But it's not a 3-story house. Like, you know?
Technically it is.
Technically it's not. Either way, there's nothing underneath the master bedroom. It's being held up by, like, I don't know, poles, right?
Yeah,
like a light
they're
pole.
like stilts. That's what I would call
Literally.
them.
And then there was an earthquake, and I was like, oh, I'm going to fucking die in here. Like,
You
this
will.
bedroom is just going to break off.
You will.
Yeah. And then the cubby that the washer dryer comes in, because I was like, oh, well, I'll just get a new washer dryer.
Yeah, exciting times.
Yeah.
For adult life. You get a new one.
And I can get, like, the nice ones.
And it's Black Friday.
Mm-hmm. All the things. And so I measured out the little, like, cubby that it was fucking in or whatever, but it was built to the specifications of these 1990 fucking washer dryers, and this motherfucker built it around them, so I had, like, how? I don't know how.
Are you going to be able to get them out? Like, are they framed in?
I think we can get them out.
Okay.
Because I've seen my dad get the dryer out one time or a couple times. So we should be able to do that if we, like, take the doors off or whatever.
Oh, my God.
But putting new ones in, they're like, oh, it's America. We make shit big now, right?
Oh, my God. They're so big now.
Girl,
they're, like, deep.
They're not going to fit. Like, that's
Yeah.
like a fucking 4 inches that it's going to stick out of my little washer dryer cubby thing.
Oh, man. What if
I
you
don't
just
know.
put it in the garage and then, like, repurpose that as, like, storage?
That's actually probably a smarter thing to do.
I don't know how much, like, making hookups down in your garage would
I
be.
don't want to walk up and down those stairs. I can make a laundry chute.
Oh, this is our best idea we've ever had. Oh my
I could
God.
literally make a laundry chute from my like closet.
But you'll
go into
also
the
need
garage?
one of those bellboys or whatever they're called, so like you can pull it back up.
The dumbwaiters.
Dumbwaiters.
Yeah.
I said bellboy.
I could hire a neighbor. Hey, kid.
You're a kid.
Yeah.
You could make like a little fucking minecart pull thing from the stairs.
Oh, that would be really cool. But
That's
yeah,
actually a really good idea.
I don't want to carry it back up. I could
Yeah,
do the
but
laundry
that's why you
chute
have the
down there.
minecart.
Yeah.
And you just have your kids stand up at the top and pull it up with like a pulley.
Yeah, and make it like fun for
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
It'd be fun
yeah.
for the first 2 times. They'd be like, "You fucking do it," like a crank.
I'm sure Brandon could like 3D print something.
Oh man. Either way, that's our new fucking adventure. So
That
wish me luck
sucks.
buying a new washer dryer situation.
Are you gonna get it in time?
Before they come? Like,
Yeah, or like the time you need to do another load of laundry.
well, Lowe's will do free delivery tomorrow.
Oh hell yeah! Okay, so is that a today adventure?
Maybe it'll be either today or tomorrow.
It was gonna be until our men decided to hang out.
Yeah, until they were like, anyway, you've done too much. We're gonna go out.
Guys' day, and we're like, okay, but hold up, we gotta record.
Yeah, give me a minute.
Well, fuck, man, that sucks.
Doesn't it? It's
Ugh.
just a sudden fucking $2,000. Just there, that's gone now.
I hope you don't get the stomach flu because you're gonna need that washer.
Oh god damn it. I hope I don't either.
Hey, but at least I didn't shit the bed. Like literally, it did
Yeah.
not shit the bed. It was close. It was close,
I'm so proud of you.
but I did not. Oh my
You could wear a
god!
pull-up.
What?
You could wear a pull-up.
I debated it. It's like I can't stoop to that level.
I mean, what level is it? I just don't want to do that kind of laundry, you know?
Oh my gosh. And what's worse too is like my youngest a couple days before had thrown up too. So I'm thinking it's either food poisoning or the stomach flu, right? Like whatever he had. It's just weird that it took a while to get to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it doesn't get anybody else in my house because we're about to go on a fucking family vacation, whatever, for Thanksgiving, all this shit, be around family. But my youngest was sleeping in bed with me because Lee's like, I don't fucking want that shit. So he slept in,
Smart man.
yeah, what we call the guest room, but is really my youngest's room. He just never sleeps in it.
Now, this one's for guests.
Yeah, yes. So Lee slept in there and I slept with the youngest. And every time I'd get up, my youngest would be like, Mommy, where are you going? And I'm like, dude, the last 18 times I have gotten up have been to go puke. Where do you think I'm going? And now he's like attached to me from sleeping in bed with me for like 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. Even now, before we're coming out here to record, he came up and he's like, will you hold me? I just want to be by you. And I'm like, you know how much I love you. And I just want your face in my face 100% of the time. But except for right now.
Yeah, but
Kick him
palm on the
away.
forehead.
Yeah. Just slowly push him away with my foot.
No.
But I need a break.
Mommy needs separation.
I need to miss you for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
That's
You're locking the
right.
door.
That's right, damn it. All right, do you want to hear this case this week
Sure do.
that I have for you?
For me.
For you. That I have prepared for you. All right, now listen, guys, be gentle on me because the transitions might be rough in between storylines. All right, so this week on episode 271, woo, 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 I'm going to tell you about Donna Dolly.
Donna Doll.
Donna Dolly. In the fall of 1970, Donna Dolly was a 21-year-old senior living in DeKalb, Illinois.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm sure I'm
I
not.
feel like you crushed it. There's an L in there, right?
Yeah.
You tried to say it. Oh.
Yeah. DeKalb. It's probably silent. DeKalb.
It could be. Yeah, it sounds accurate.
Anyway, she was a student at Northern Illinois University, and she was studying Russian.
Ooh.
Russian.
That's cool.
I know, right? Donna was a very bright and intelligent woman, and she graduated 15th in her high school class and had become an honor student at Northern Illinois University. So
Okay.
she was smart as fuck.
Good
is
for
what I'm trying
her.
to tell you.
Yeah.
Her goal after college was to become a Russian interpreter
Mm-hmm.
and become a teacher.
Okay.
Like,
Good for
she
her.
loved the Russian language.
Mhm.
Donna was described as unworldly. I wanted to know what that meant.
Unworldly?
Like, you don't need a lot of fancy stuff?
Unworldly. I would think that meant like she hasn't traveled. She hasn't like been to Russia.
Oh, that would, yeah, maybe. Okay, so she was described as unworldly and innocent. See?
Okay.
That
yeah.
makes sense.
Like naive or something.
Yeah. And never got into trouble. And she was not a wild child in high school or anything like that. She was
Okay.
very studious, smart, whatever.
Yeah.
She had a best friend that she had met in the 8th grade, and she was another woman by the name of Donna. But for the sake of all of this, I'm going to call her D so we don't get confused.
Okay. D2.
So, yeah, so we got Donna and Donna. D2. R2, D2.
Are there 2 of them? D2.
We're so dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, Lord.
Golly.
So, the pair had essentially grown up together, right? Because she's like, they're in their 20s now.
Yeah.
As a teen, Donna, our Donna, often bore the responsibility of caring for her younger siblings. And it sounds like her parents were kind of strict because she always had chores and like home responsibilities to do. And they were always expected of her. So like Donna could never go out to like slumber parties or do any kind of fun things because she always had to be home and taking care of the house or the kids.
Oh, that sucks.
I know.
That's a shitty thing to do to your kids.
And she always had to babysit the kids too. I know. I was thinking of that and I was like, man, but they're built-in babysitters.
They are to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But like all the time, like they're not supposed to raise your kids. They're
I know. It sounds kind of like, I mean, and this is coming from D2's account. So, you know, this is coming from her best friend saying like, man, she could never go anywhere because she always had to do a lot of stuff at the house. So
yeah.
Her parents were strict.
Okay.
When Donna moved out of her childhood home to a dorm at the university, she had a newfound freedom, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Right? So now
Get
she
that
doesn't...
Catholic girl syndrome. She's going to go fucking crazy.
Yeah. She's like, I'm going to lick this pole.
Is that what they do? Oh, that pole.
I don't know why I thought of Dumb and Dumber. You know, when they licks the frostbitten pole. Anyway. She is living her new life in a dorm. She was studying Russian, which was very difficult, and her studies were very demanding. And a lot of her time, she took, obviously, her schooling very seriously. So a lot of her time she spent studying, but she now had times to like, also date and hang out with friends.
Yeah.
So she started dating men.
Not men.
Yeah. And she settled in nicely living on campus, and she even got herself a part-time job working weeknights at the campus library.
Okay. Good for her.
She is living her best life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, cut to October 2nd, 1970.
Okay.
I really just did not. Hard transition.
Just cutting.
So Donna clocks out of the library that she's working at 9:59 p.m.
Ugh.
Late night.
Mm-hmm.
Why are campus libraries like 24/7?
Well,
You got to crunch
because
for...
the people live there
Yeah, that's true.
24/7.
Oh,
and
man.
then you could be like, look, you could also study.
But a weird
they're
thing,
at
you know?
school.
Like, just a room with books and chairs.
Yeah.
But you have to be quiet in. But, like, you can come
I
anytime.
would fall asleep if I had to work there late.
Do you know how many people I have seen sleeping in the library?
Like workers or people?
People. I wouldn't know a worker if I saw one at the library. I don't think I ever saw a worker at the library on campus. Did you?
Yeah.
What
but I
were
had
they
to go into
doing?
like...
What?
I had to go into the special books rooms.
Okay. For what?
Well, like bookbinding and art history. You have to go in there.
Don't say it like you're proud, like it was exclusive.
No, it's not.
Like
it's just
you would
weird.
never be able to go in there.
You can.
I bet I could fucking piggyback off of you and get in.
Well, not anymore. I'm no longer a member.
You could fake it enough.
I probably could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like flash your fucking...
Like, actually, I work here.
Red badge.
You'd be like, ma'am, that's a boardwalk card.
I'm
a
behind you
local
with the Chuck E.
arcade.
Cheese one. Like my kid's name on the back of it. Like, well, I got so many fucking tickets on this bitch.
They have books made out of human skin, though.
Oh, I want to
Yeah.
go in there.
Yeah.
That
super
sounds cool.
Yeah. And you can't touch them. They have to get them
Well,
out for you. And then you have to, like, wear gloves and stuff if you are going to touch them. Or they have to wear gloves. And they're like, you can look at this page. And you're like, can you turn it?
Huh. What's on the pages of the human skin?
Like, mostly book, like, religion stuff.
Oh.
I was like, mostly book stuff.
Yeah.
Books, words, you could read them.
Like how they made this book would be very helpful.
Not that one. Like, who the skin belonged to.
Yeah. Any details.
Nope.
It's like instead of the author and illustrator, they list like the skin owner.
This was Mark. Or Romulus. I don't know. Whatever names they had back then.
Romulus. Oh my God. Okay.
Anyway.
So she clocks out at 9:59 p.m. in the library.
Cutting
That-
out early.
That was not a minute early. I bet
Was
she
it?
clocked in a minute early.
She probably did. She's like, I deserve this.
Yeah, and not a fucking dime, not a dime of my time. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
And not a minute later.
D2 and Donna had plans to meet up that night because they both had been really busy with school and everything, and D2 had recently gotten married and they hadn't hung out in some time.
Oh.
I know, I'm like, bitches, go to bed.
I know. It's fucking 10 at night. You're not going to get home and, like, ready to go out until at least 11?
But do you remember? Well, they weren't even going to go out. They were just going to hang out and get some coffee and chat and, like, catch up.
Cute.
But coffee at 10 o'clock at night? You got to go to bed, bitch.
You're never going to sleep. We like get hot chocolate like we used to.
I know. Do you remember when we used to hang out at 10 o'clock at night? And that was, like, the beginning of the night?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, 10? I'm not coming out after 8.
You're lucky if I'm awake. Yeah, 8 is even pushing it.
Gosh, yeah. So the plan was that after work, D2 would meet Donna at the library and pick her up, and the pair were going to go hang out, grab coffee, catch up.
Okay.
When D2 arrived at the library, she waited for like 5 minutes or something, and Donna never showed up, so she eventually went into the library to check on her, like, yo, bitch, clock out, let's roll.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we got some
Why
fun
are you
shit
working
to do.
overtime?
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to hang out.
Exactly. But Donna's coworkers were like, oh, she clocked out at 9:59. I'm pretty sure they didn't tell her that, but like,
They looked at the card.
She left. Like, Donna's gone.
Yeah.
And D2.
What time was this? Do you know?
It's got to be like, I don't know.
After 10.
Yeah, 10:05, 10:20. I don't really actually know.
Okay.
I'm speculating. Nothing ever told me the time, but it sounds like D2 was going to meet Donna after work, so pretty close around that time.
Yeah.
D2 figures that, like, Donna must have forgotten about their plans or something, and it's the 70s, so nobody has phones or pagers or anything, and it was pretty common for plans to change or people to forget, and you get, like, stranded. I don't know. Like,
yeah, you just show up when you're supposed to show up.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you don't, you're like, I don't know, maybe he's dead.
Yeah. Well, they didn't even think that. They were just like, oh, she must have had other plans or something. And so she didn't think much of it, and she heads home.
Wild time.
I know. I'd be so mad at you. I'd be like, bitch.
We made plans.
We were going to hang out at 10 o'clock at night for coffee. And you know how much I look forward to this?
Had to get coffee by myself.
Awful. So, cut to 2 days later. It's a Sunday night. Her dorm mates, Donna's dorm mates, noticed that she had been gone all weekend, and by Sunday night, she still hadn't returned, and no one had heard from her.
That's not good.
That's not good at all.
Not good.
D2's got to feel kind of bad.
Yeah.
Not that she should. Not that she should.
But I would. Like,
Yeah.
I gave up kind of fast. I don't know how much time she spent there, but I'd give up pretty fast.
I would have done the exact same, though.
Yeah.
Like, all right, well, I'm going to go home.
Yeah, like, that sounds like she forgot. I'm tired. It's 10 at night.
Yeah, exactly. So at first, they weren't that concerned because it wasn't unusual for Donna to stay the night at her boyfriend's house.
Ooh.
We'll get to him later.
Mm-hmm.
But it was 11 o'clock at night on Sunday at this point, and so they started to worry because by now she would have been back because she takes school and work and everything really seriously.
Mm-hmm. And no stop-ins to, like, get clothes or
Exactly.
shower or whatever.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, so they're like, okay, this is pretty serious.
Yeah.
Donna was also very punctual, like I said, and so she wouldn't miss class without letting people know.
Okay.
So immediately, as soon as they realize, like, oh shit, it's been 2 days and no one's heard from her, the, like, dorm mates start questioning her whereabouts.
Yeah.
So they called Donna's parents, and Donna's parents also hadn't heard from her that whole weekend, and they immediately called the police. Like, okay, we've got some shit we're worried about. The police come and they search her dorm, and they found that Donna's suitcase, her clothings, and everything, like, all of the shit that you would take if you were staying at your boyfriend's house or some shit, it was all still there.
Her hole-on-the-go bag was still there?
Her hole-in-the-go bag was still there, and also her boyfriend was like, I haven't seen her. So
that is not where she was.
yeah, and then she also had an uncashed check from
Uh-oh.
work, and so they were saying that she could have only had like $10 on her, because she didn't. I don't know how they know how much money she had left over, or if it was like in her bank account, or maybe she didn't have a bank account. I don't really fucking know the details, but like she didn't have any money, so they're like, she's been gone for 2 days. She doesn't have any of her things, and she has no money. That's concerning.
Yeah.
Now, before we go on more into the story, let me tell you a little bit about this boyfriend.
Yeah.
I don't have his name.
Fuck. Devin.
Okay, Devin.
He feels like a Devin.
I feel like his name was like Mark or something, but I don't really know for sure. But anyway, I read it once in one of the articles, and then I couldn't find it again when I actually went to go research
You're doing like
the case.
Control F, Mark.
Yeah,
Not in any
I
of
fucking
these.
searched everything. I don't know what article I had read, and I couldn't find it again. And remember that part where I said I was dying? So I kind of gave up pretty easily. But anyway, she had a boyfriend from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And she had met this man the summer prior, and he just so happened to be married.
What? No.
But he was working on getting a divorce.
That's what they all say.
So I think he was separated or going to be separated. I don't really know
Was
the details.
he legitimately working on getting a divorce?
I think so.
Or was he like, he told her that and his wife was unaware of that?
You know, I don't really know all the details. They don't go into it much, but just so happened that when Donna had met him, she was actually in a relationship of her own with another man by the name of Charles Burke.
Charles Burke.
But
Okay.
it turns out that she wasn't happy with Charles because he was a controlling boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was very controlling for Donna, and she wanted out of this relationship, and she wanted to be with this other man that we don't know his name.
Okay.
Now-
Devin.
Now, D2 says that she did not like Charles at all.
Oh, okay.
She was like, I might have wrote it later, so if I repeat it, I'm sorry. But she was like, he was possessive. He wasn't fun. He was awful. And so as soon as D heard that she was seeing another man, she was fucking thrilled. So we
Yeah.
don't like Charles.
Okay. Fuck Charles.
Not for Donna, anyway.
Fuck Chuck.
Fuck Chuck for Donna.
Yeah. He probably deserves happiness in his life.
Fuck, I don't know. We're going to find out.
We
So,
are.
She breaks things off with Chuck, and because she wants to be happy, and she decides to start dating Pittsburgh Boo.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Devin.
Or Pittsburgh Pete. What do you want to call him?
Oh.
Just give him a fucking name.
I don't know. We're not going to talk about him that much more.
Oh, okay.
Pittsburgh Pete. Fuck. You're never gonna know who I'm talking about. So you change his fucking name.
3 name having motherfucker. Mark, Devin, and Pete.
Okay. She breaks up with Chuck and starts dating Pete. Right?
Okay.
So this is obviously a hush-hush thing because, like I said, he was married but actively getting a divorce, and also her parents were super strict, so it's likely that she never mentioned Pittsburgh Pete to her parents because they wouldn't agree. You know, like,
Yeah.
we don't like that you're dinking around with a married man.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I'd have that same advice for my child. but
yeah, exactly.
It's kind of reasonable.
Yeah, exactly. So it isn't that unheard of that maybe she had gone to Pittsburgh to visit Pete and didn't tell anybody
Ooh.
because perhaps
She was trying to be sneaky.
exactly.
But she would have told D2.
Yeah, you think D2 would have known,
Yeah.
but D2 didn't know. So despite there being no physical evidence to suggest that Donna had left to go visit anywhere on her own fruit, I think they did call Pete, and Pete was like, I haven't seen her.
Mm-hmm.
So Chuck hasn't seen her. Pete hasn't seen her. She's been missing this whole weekend. She doesn't have any of her shit. And despite all of that, the police were like, we're going to take our time on this one. Like, they kind of drag their feet for searching for her.
Love
and
that.
they figure like, oh, it's only been 2 days. Like, there's no big reason
She's
to...
an adult. She's
Yeah.
allowed to go missing.
Yeah, like
blah,
they
blah,
didn't
blah.
suspect any kind of foul play or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Even though she went missing late at night.
But
Spooky. And
Yeah.
doesn't have any money.
yeah. Like, what?
Did she have a car?
I don't know if she had a car, but it wasn't missing or anything. Like, it
Yeah.
didn't say anything if she did. But D2 was picking her up, so I'm going to guess no. Like, she was walking on campus and D2 picked her up. Anyway, the local newspaper ends up running an article about Donna being missing,
Oh.
but that was really about it. That's all the press that it really got.
Okay.
So a few days later, Donna's parents began receiving strange phone calls from a caller who would say, I know where your daughter is, and then hang up.
Don't love that.
And that was after the article. So people are dicks,
Yeah.
one. And two, people are dicks.
Yeah.
Just in case we were wondering.
Yeah.
Frustrated by the lack of help from the police, Donna's family and friends, including her ex Charles, all rallied together to form a search party to find her. However, whenever they would like search for her or anything, they'd come up empty-handed.
Mm-hmm.
So this goes on for 9 days until October 11th, which also they searched on October 11th,
Okay.
for the record. Okay, so on October 11th, 1970, at around 8:30 p.m., 3 teenagers who were on their way to a party, they drive out to Nelson Road, which I guess is like around campus. I
Okay.
did not Google Maps it, but close by. So they go out to Nelson Road to pick up some alcohol that they had stashed just off the road in some tall grass by a cornfield.
Okay.
So,
Fucking different times, man.
different times. That shit is going to be warm. I'm guessing maybe it's not beer.
What year? It's
1970.
October
October.
in Illinois.
Oh.
It might be cold, right?
Yeah.
Is it? What's the one that's white snowing yet? I was like, raining.
Oh my God. Are you okay? I think you
No.
stroked out, man. Yeah, you're probably right. Also, I just immediately thought beer because when I was younger, that's what we stashed.
No, it would have been a bottle.
Yeah, that
100%.
makes more sense.
Yeah, easier to get.
Yeah.
Gets the job done quicker.
Yeah. They're out on Nelson Road grabbing beer, right?
Yeah.
Or booze,
Alcohol.
whatever. Side note, Nelson Road in the 70s was a known hangout drinking spot for the younger crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Little frontage road situation.
Right, yeah. Especially because the dorms were not co-ed, so this is how they could all party together. Like, they'd all, like, get drunk on the road or go stash their booze or whatever.
Okay.
So boys and girls could, like, neck.
Heavy pet.
Yeah, whatever they do in their cars.
Okay.
Okay. They had put this alcohol. I put beer, but I don't really know if it was beer.
Okay, we can keep calling it beer. Whenever you want.
They had put this alcohol in the tall grass a week prior, knowing that they were going to go to this party. A week, man. Just hiding out there. Nobody's taking it.
Jesus.
Could you imagine? A fucking bum would roll up on that shit around here and they'd be like, fucking score.
Yeah, jackpot.
Yeah,
We found
exactly.
treasure.
Right? Side note, there was a newspaper article that said that the kid who pulled over, his name was Jim, and that he pulled over to take a piss. So that's another part of the story, not to get his booze. But I don't know if he just said that to the police. Like, I don't know why there's two different stories.
Definitely don't have booze over here.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely was just relieving myself.
It must be a good place to stash something, because I'm assuming,
There's going to be a body.
yeah, that they have found something.
You probably are right. One of the teenagers, Jim,
All right, Jimbo.
he hopped out of the car and he's walking through the tall grass to get his booze, and he sees the outline of a body laying on its back under a tree about 5 feet away from where he stashed his booze.
Don't love that.
Don't love
5
that.
feet away. He's like, can I skirt behind it? Like, let me just squeeze
Like
by
active crime scenage. Like he's in the crime scene. Like, that's a fucking body.
ya. Oh, no.
Immediately, he runs back to the car where the other two teenagers, which I think were girls, were in the car and took them right to the police station. He drove
good.
right there, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, you will not believe what I have found. And so the police follow him back to the location where he found the body.
What a weird time.
I know, right? Like, let me just take you right to the crime scene.
Yeah, like, hold on. Come here. I'll show you.
Like 16-year-old fucking Jim.
Yeah, you can't call and be like, I have found something. Like, let me just go to the police station.
Right?
Where is the police station?
I don't know. They fucking knew, man.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyway, so they go back to the location, and there the police find a body that was fully clothed, except for its shoes.
Mm-hmm.
By 3 a.m., the police had been able to positively identify the body as Donna
Oh.
by her ex-boyfriend, Charles. Chuck?
Uh-huh.
He's the one who identified her, which I don't know why it was Charles, a.k.a. Chuck, because we had D2 to be able to identify
And her
her.
family,
We had
I'm
her
assuming.
fucking parents.
Yeah.
And Chuck was broken up with Donna. Like,
yeah,
they
why
weren't
are you
together.
so involved?
I don't understand why Chuck did it, but for whatever reason, the police ask him to identify her, and he does.
Mm-hmm.
Donna was found wearing a jacket, but it wasn't the jacket she was last seen in, which was a trench coat. She was in, like, a light jacket.
Mm-hmm.
The trench coat, along with her shoes and her purse, were all missing from the scene.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out that where Donna was found was only a quarter-mile short of where her friends and family's little search party had ended that same day. They ended a quarter-mile from her, and then they turned back.
Oh,
So, like,
that's
if they had gone a
horrible.
little bit further, they would have found her. But, I mean, lucky we found her the same day.
Quarter mile is still pretty far, though. Like, on foot?
Honestly, yeah, if I'm walking.
Yeah. Like, that's a whole lap around the track. That's far.
I feel like I could see that.
Straighten that out. You wouldn't see a body. Not in Illinois.
Are
In
there
October.
hills?
What?
Not in tall grass. Tell
Not
you
in
that
tall
much.
grass.
Can't see through tall
There's
grass.
trees, too. She was under a tree. There's trees and tall grass. You're not going to see a body.
Uh-uh.
That far away? That's really far. I can't even see that far.
Yeah, you're right. I can't either.
Was it nighttime? Maybe it was getting dark. They had to stop.
I don't know. But somebody else found her. So,
Yeah.
what was also interesting about the scene was that Donna's remains actually looked to be in pretty good shape. Like, she wasn't covered in bruises or scratches, so it doesn't look like there was a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
There was no bruise on her wrist or ankles or neck to suggest that she had been bound or choked or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they performed an autopsy, and it was discovered that Donna had been alive for at least 48 hours after she had gone missing.
Oh, God.
The cause of death was ruled suffocation by either a pillowcase or a plastic bag. But there were no fibers or anything like that in her airways, which you would usually find in suffocation.
But I guess you wouldn't if it was a plastic bag.
Yeah, I guess not. How do they rule it suffocation if there's like, do they like measure your oxygen levels in your blood or something? Like, how do they know
I don't know. Maybe.
if there were no markings? And there was no like bag over her head or anything.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how they know that. And it's the 70s, so here we are. Anyway, but so there was no physical signs of suffocation, but maybe there were like medical signs when she did the autopsy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it was a she who did it. I'm imagining it was a he because it was the 70s. So
Yeah, they weren't allowed to have jobs yet.
yeah. Like I said, there was no obvious signs of a struggle, so she may have known her killer. Blood work reported a mysterious substance in her system, but it was never determined what that substance was. Like, they didn't know. They were like, it's mysterious.
Like a roofie drug, I wonder?
And the most bizarre part of all of this is they discover that prior to her death, she had eaten 5 to 6 pounds of boiled potatoes. Like, her stomach was distended from the amount of potatoes that was in her stomach. Isn't that fucking weird?
What?
What? Who eats that many potatoes?
Well, it doesn't sound like she wanted to eat that many
No, that
potatoes.
has to be like force fed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's... Remember the movie Seven?
Yeah. I remember the movie Seven.
Great movie, first of all. Haven't seen it, go watch it. Spoiler alert.
It starts with gluttony.
Oh, good. So I'll only spoil the beginning. Well, that's what I thought of. You understand. You understand the premise that I'm going with here? That's fucking weird.
That's fucking weird, right? So, through the investigations...
Also,
what?
Potatoes? Like, what kind of potatoes? Boiled potatoes.
Boiled. How would you know they're boiled and not mashed, you know?
I guess you would know they were boiled
And not raw?
and not raw.
Maybe.
And they could have been mashed, because that's still a boiled potato.
True. Technicalities. But not baked, bitch.
Wasn't baked.
How do you know it's not baked?
Maybe there's no skin.
Maybe.
You gotta peel a potato before you boil it.
You don't,
I know
have
if
to.
you have to.
Yeah. A lot of people don't. They like boil it and then peel it because it's easier.
Boil that dust back. Boil that dust back.
That was a weird tick.
Sorry. That's really weird.
Weird.
I want to know so many things. Like, can you tell if there was spices? Like, what was it good?
Was it flavored?
Yeah. was it
delicious?
like mashed potatoes?
Was she like,
'Cause
wow.
I could eat 5 or 6 pounds of mashed potatoes.
I was trying to imagine how many potatoes is that? Because, like, is one potato a pound? Is that like 5 or 6
No.
potatoes? Or is that like half a pound?
It's got to be like 5 or 6 potatoes.
Okay, that's a lot of potatoes.
What was 5 or 6 pounds of potatoes?
Yeah.
So it's got to be like 10 potatoes.
You think so?
I think so. Wow. Pounds?
When you buy a bag of potatoes, how many pounds is that?
I
Are they
don't
like
know.
5-pound bags or something?
I would imagine those are like between 5 and 10 pounds.
Holy shit, that's a lot of fucking potatoes. I mean, it was so much so that her
But
belly...
in 2 days. But if it's going to distend,
Well, yeah.
like how quickly does that happen?
And it was all still in her stomach. So,
So
like,
she hadn't like processed it.
she hadn't... Yeah, it was right before her death.
That's fucking weird.
Fucking weird. Through the investigation, the police quickly discovered that Charles was very upset over the recent breakup with Donna and that he was very vocal about it. Instantly, they honed in on him as suspect number 1. Like,
Yeah.
all right, you have a motive here. Like, she broke up with you, was going to go be with Pittsburgh Pete, whatever we want to call him.
And D2 was like, she did complain about him not liking her potatoes.
He was like, eat the fucking
You
potatoes.
fucking eat them then. Like what?
I don't know.
Was there some insight there?
The potatoes are fucking weird, right? Okay, so they hone in on him as suspect number 1 because he has a motive. Dee describes Charles as a possessive jerk, a nerd who did not have the intellect to match Donna's.
Ooh.
Yeah, she going in
Fuck
hard.
that guy.
He also lived alone in his apartment that was very close to Nelson Road, where Donna's remains were discovered. Donna's family never believed that Charles had anything to do with it and harmed her in any kind of way. It sounds like she probably wouldn't have told her parents about how possessive he was, but I don't really know that for sure.
Yeah.
And they invited him to be a pallbearer at her funeral.
Ooh, I don't like where that's going.
And they even buried her in earrings that he had gifted her. So they don't think he did it at all.
Yeah.
When interviewed by the police, Charles denied any wrongdoing.
I gasped like I know it's him.
That bitch. I kind of feel like it's him too.
I mean,
let's see.
There's a lot of motive. Let's see. We'll find out together.
Charles denied any wrongdoing, and he was very surprised that he would be a suspect because of how tore up he was over the loss of his one true love, Donna.
No, look how sad I am.
Oh, Donna.
I can't believe you don't believe me.
These are real tears.
Do you see these tears?
When the sheriff announced that there was a prime suspect in Donna's case, a.k.a. Charles, he decided to attempt to take his own life by slitting his wrists.
Mm-hmm.
He was taken to the university health clinic, which I thought was kind of weird. Like, he didn't want to go to, like, the ER or something. Maybe it was sufficient. I don't know.
They're like, it's not that bad. This is a cry for attention.
Just put a Band-Aid on it. He just scratched his
Can you
wrist.
stop being so dramatic?
And he immediately retained a lawyer who issued a statement on Charles's behalf that basically said Charles is emotionally disturbed over Donna's death and that he's been extremely cooperative with the police, and he even volunteered to take a polygraph test.
Okay.
So, like, totally wasn't Charles, right?
Yeah. Do you see how willing to participate he is and help?
He's so helpful.
He's so helpful. It could
How
be
could a
him.
man that is so helpful have murdered her with potatoes? So, there is a second suspect in Donna's murder,
Okay.
and that is a man who is now a senior consultant at a large Chicago bank.
Like now or then?
Like now. Like now.
Okay.
Now this man works at a large Chicago bank. I don't know his fucking name. I wanted to dig to get it because I know I can, but I didn't have time because I died.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably wouldn't have said his name. I might have. I always just say it anyway.
It's just fucking bring up the past, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. Anyway, so, like, you know, a guy who has a respectable job right now designing computer systems that do number crunching and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in the recent past, people have called asking for comments about Donna's death because he was a second suspect, and he just says no comment and hangs up the phone.
Well, he's probably over it.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't him.
But, like,
he's
I
probably
wanna
over it if
know.
it was him, too.
I want to know, where did he live? Were other murders happening wherever he lived? Like, what's up with this guy? What's going on?
Yeah. Like, did the police ever
Did he like
continue
potatoes?
on with him?
How do you feel about potatoes?
Whoever knows him now, be real careful around Thanksgiving if he's making the potatoes.
Okay, so some random interesting facts.
Okay.
On October 7th, so 5 days
Great day.
Great day. So 5 days after her disappearance,
Mm-hmm.
about a mile south of the scene where Donna was found, a stolen car was found abandoned. So this would have been 3 days after her death, right? Because 5 days after her disappearance, she was
She was
technically
gone for
alive for 2
2.
days. Yeah. So 3 days after her death. There was a stolen car that was found abandoned, but it had apparently been stolen by 2 youths who ditched the car there, and the police suspect no connection to Donna's case.
Okay. 2 youths?
Youths? Can you tell I got that from a news clip? The day prior to that, a 27-year-old man by the name of Boyd Partridge.
Boyd?
Boyd,
Okay.
who was a teacher. I don't know if he taught at the university or what, but he had left his home and he never reported to work on Monday. But he had returned a week later on October 11th, the day that Donna was discovered. But no connection to Donna's case has been made, allegedly. There's
Okay.
no connection. But interesting that there's somebody else missing at the same time as her and then just comes home like, hey, man,
Oh, everything's fine. I was just gone for a while.
what's going on, Boyd?
Had some
Maybe
leftover
Boyd-
potatoes.
Maybe Boyd has a job at a Chicago bank. Let's Google his name after this.
Chicago Bank. Oh, like
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, like now.
Oh, okay,
Mm.
okay.
Okay. Also, it turns out that potatoes can kill you, in case you're wondering.
Well,
I really hard cut into this.
no, like how? Like,
Oh,
are
let
they
me tell you.
poisonous?
So, if they're stored improperly for too long, because it'll produce this like toxin called solanine, which is a defense mechanism against insects that the potato creates, but it's also poisonous to humans. So, what happens is the potato skins get green, and like that's just like chlorophyll or not form,
Nope.
fill.
Yep.
Whatever the shit is that makes plants green.
Uh-huh.
It's just that, but it also is poisonous and it keeps insects from eating the potatoes. But if humans consume too much of it, you also can be poisoned.
Okay, but
And it can cause vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain, and in severe cases, depression of the central nervous system.
ugh.
And patients have been found to be comatose with episodes of convulsive twitching and violent fits of fever.
Ugh.
And in the more extreme cases, it can cause death. I had heard about one case where, like, a family went down in the cellar to grab potatoes for dinner, and the dad didn't come up. Then the mom went down, the mom didn't come up. The kids went down, the kids didn't come up. The grandma went down, the grandma didn't come up. And then the last little kid went down, but the grandma had left the cellar door open when she went down. Last little kid went down, found her whole family dead because of this poison. Like, it was in the air. I guess it could be a gas, too. Like, they were stored improperly. So it can kill.
I've always heard that. Like, you don't eat green potatoes because they're poisonous and all that.
Yeah.
Like, if they start to grow eyes or whatever, which I grew up in that household that's like, just tear it out, you know?
Yeah, well, I guess if you peel the skin and cut out the eyes, you're okay. But if you boil it with the skin and the eyes, then you're essentially just boiling it in poison. So what if
That was the mysterious liquid or thing found in her veins?
yes, the mysterious stuff,
fluid, whatever
substance in her veins
in her body. Yeah,
was because of eating too many bad potatoes. And then I was like, why would somebody force feed her potatoes? And then I thought of True Life on MTV when I used to watch that back in the day. And there was an episode on food fetishes where there would be feeders. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Where like people get off on feeding people a lot of food. I mean, there's still shit all over like YouTube and TikTok where people buy like an insane amount of food and like cute girls are eating it and it's like ASMR shit too.
Yeah.
So like it's not unheard of. But what if somebody had a fetish, took her, and was like, eat all these potatoes, and they just so happened to be fucking boiled in their skin or some shit.
Deadly potatoes.
Yeah. And then it killed her, and they were like, oh, fuck, and then like dumped her body.
So you think it was like an accident? Like, how do you...
I don't know.
How do
Either
you
that or like
justify
she
that?
passed out and then the person suffocated her. I don't know. And they also don't mention if she had been raped or anything like that. Like, there's not a lot of details.
Yeah.
Fucking 70s, man.
I know, right? Police
So-
work was so much easier. Whoa, we don't know.
Oh, shit, there's potatoes. That's weird.
Case
Not a
closed.
clue. Not a clue.
Not a clue. Anyone missing a great quantity of potato?
Yeah, so I mean, it's very possible that the potatoes could have been stored incorrectly or something, and that's what took her out.
It was like an accidental death.
And maybe that's why there's no signs of like suffocation. But how would they determine that it's suffocation? Also, for the
They
record,
had to have seen like that she didn't have or oxygen flow or whatever. Like they can tell when
arterial blood gas.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can tell when like you'll be blue or whatever, you know.
I don't really know. I don't know. Or like I was thinking strangulation or something. Remember how we read like their eyes will have little spots or whatever? But they didn't mention that, so I don't really know.
Well, strangulation would be
Different. We would
more-
see some things.
yeah.
There'd be broken stuff. But like
visible.
suffocation, I was thinking maybe there's the same thing with suffocation,
Mm.
like, you know, blood vessels pop or something. But there
Yeah.
wasn't even no signs of a struggle or anything. But with the solanine, it suffocates you. Like gas suffocates you. That's why that family that went down in the cellar died. So what if she was in a
Oh.
very poorly aired cellar and she ate the potatoes out of hunger, but I don't know how she would boil them.
I don't know why she would eat that many.
That's too many potatoes.
You're like,
to
oh
eat out of
no, I
hunger.
don't. I'm so hungry. I'm
Like,
gonna
she
have
could be
a
force
potato.
fed.
Yeah,
right?
that's a force fed situation. To eat 5 or 6 pounds of potatoes.
Yeah.
You're not hungry.
So, like, what situation would you do that in? It's
Or-
either spite because of somebody not eating her, she's not eating his potatoes,
Mm-hmm.
or
Maybe she
feeder.
was like captured,
yeah,
and then they were like, "You're gonna live here. Here's some potatoes. This is gonna be your meal for I don't know the next foreseeable future." And she was like, "Fuck this guy. I'm gonna eat all these fucking potatoes to make myself fat so that I'm not attractive to him, or to get rid of the like all of his food so that it's inconvenient for him to keep me." Like
yeah.
it could be like a spite on her end, like, "Well, fuck your potatoes. I'm gonna eat all these potatoes."
But also, she sounded like she was very like
Logical.
rule following, like not spiteful.
yeah,
I
but
don't know.
in a life or death situation, people are different.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fucking weird. And I don't have an answer. Nobody has an answer. We
That's
don't
not
know.
great.
This shit is still unsolved to this motherfucking day.
Don't like that. Hate
Girl's
that.
got a lot of potatoes in her belly, and I really think the potatoes have to do with the mysterious substance in her blood. I don't know for sure, and I don't know how we could retest that shit. Can we exhume her body? I don't know. I don't know the details.
Would the potatoes still be there?
But there's still I mean, this just happened in the 70s. They were in their 20s, so everybody now is like in their 70s. It's been 50 years from now.
Yeah.
Like, there's still people alive that don't, like, Dee is still alive. Like, I don't know what happened to my fucking bestie. And then Donna had a younger sister who had turned 10 while she was missing, and she missed the birthday party. And that's really when the family was like, oh, shit, we know something's wrong, because she would never miss a birthday party. So she's got younger siblings that don't know the answer to what happened or anything. And it doesn't sound like this is, I mean, they say it's still open, but, like, it does not sound like any, it was hard to find what I found.
Yeah.
There
like,
was no more information than
nobody's
that.
actively looking.
No.
It's kind of like if we get a tip, maybe.
Isn't that fucking weird, though?
That is.
Well,
so
you think
sad.
this guy in Chicago, like, has a food fetish?
We should just call him and ask him how he feels about potatoes.
Yeah, just like, excuse me, sir.
Boiled or baked?
Or raw.
No one likes raw.
I love raw potatoes.
I know that about you.
But you have to peel the skin because the skin makes your tongue tingle, and now I know why.
Oh, now you know why. I just thought because it was dirty. It's always gritty.
Oh, yeah, well, you wash the potatoes, you psycho.
Well, yeah, but
You know.
it still tastes like dirt. It grew in the dirt. It's like made of dirt.
It is a tubular, or whatever they're called.
Shit's totally tubular.
Ah. All right, so if you guys want to check out pictures pertaining to my case, go to our social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. and Threads that nobody uses. Maybe they do. And just because I don't doesn't mean that nobody does.
It's not me either.
Anyway, you can also email us at isgdpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll eventually respond.
Or we'll try to.
I feel like I have been so out of the loop on the email lately.
Yeah.
Because of every fucking thing going on in life. It has been insane. So don't worry, we'll get to you guys. And then you can... Oh, have you checked the P.O. box?
I did.
Was there anything?
For you. But not from anybody.
Well, damn. Okay, if you want to snail mail us, you can do that at...
P.O. Box 2764, Spring Valley, California, 91979.
And we love you guys. Happy Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving!
I should have done a Thanksgiving one. I kind of did with the potatoes.
At least she brought the potatoes.
At least she brought the potatoes. Later, Gators.
Bye.